Welcome back. So excited that you're with us today. And I'm joined here by our Vice President of Customer Experience, Wes Dudley.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Wes.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about this awards gala. Thinking about IFRA's night of celebration, and so Wes, thank you for being in attendance with us. Really love to kind of hear from you. Ultimately, what were your overall thoughts of the event? How did the night go?
Yeah, it was a great event. Being there, this is my second time to attend with Broad River, but this year was a little more special. But yeah, the night itself, running into colleagues from my previous company, as well as when I was with AFI, seeing old friends that I haven't seen in a while, meeting their families and Charlie's family, was great. And just the award itself, seeing all of that.
Yeah, it was a special night. It was a memorable night. And you mentioned this is your second time attending, so you're right. Last time we attended together, so it was fun. I think this one kind of will hold a special place in our heart. Anything stand out to you about the evening? Other than, of course, yes, we got you're super humbled to receive the recognition for Retailer of the Year, but other than that, I'm always, what stood out to you? Anything new?
Yeah, two things stood out to me. One, I had met your wife before, but I had not met your boys.
Oh, right.
I had not met any of Charlie's family, so it was very nice to meet the family. So that was special for me to be able to get to know them a little bit. The other part is really the reel. When they introduced the award and ran the reel with you and Charlie. Just the amount of emotion that I felt, being very proud, not just for me being part of this amazing company, but all the other memory makers that were awarded with this as well. It just, really got a little emotional, as you're watching that and seeing that.
It's interesting. We've had these conversations with several other leaders, and they've all come to that point where it wasn't a little bit emotional. And what that reminds me of is that we have leaders that care deeply about what it is that we try to do every day. It's not perfect, but it's what we set out to do every day, and it's more about the how we go about things. The what is really important, but it's how we do things, and I think that really resonates with what you mentioned. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed, to your point, I really enjoyed just seeing the community, because it takes a village. It takes a community, and we see that in the furniture industry. There's a lot of relationships. You have prior relationships with other companies. You've been in the industry for a strong amount of time, and so it's nice to kind of be together, right?
And celebrate together.
Well, anything else? You're thinking about kind of retail, thinking about our retail industry, and you're hearing some of those stories of successful stories of folks that were being recognized. Anything kind of stand out to you about anything that was consistent amongst them all?
The drive, which is different than I've seen from sales in the past. With that, I think that to get that type of an award, they do have to have the passion behind and the drive to go do that. I know that we celebrate our team here at Broad River as well. Our $1 Million Memory Makers, the soiree. I think that it's important to do those celebrations. And to me, it was just kind of a continuation of this is the industry. This isn't just Broad River.
Sure.
And you're celebrating the best of the best throughout the whole industry.
Wes, for the folks that listen in, how would you categorize, what sets Broad River apart from other retailers, or just even the kind of the leadership structure here? Is there anything that you would kind of point to that, just kind of feels different?
Yeah, what feels different is when the things that we do with intentionality. I think that it's very well thought through of things that we try to implement, things that we try to accomplish. But, you always hear of certain things that takes a village. but our village is more family. It's very centric of, there's no titles involved when you're having conversations. There's the fact that we're all marching towards the same goal. And with that, in addition to just have the importance of building that culture to where you have that openness, but at the same time, and I always say this, you can still do a great job and have a lot of fun doing it. And I think that's what we do here at Broad River.
Man, that's well said. That's well said. Events like these, they're important because they not just tell a story, they continue, the tradition of telling the story. So the rep network, the sales representative networks that are now in their second, third, fourth generations. Like I loved hearing about the generational impact. Why do you think it's important to kind of have these nights and have these celebrations in our industry?
Yeah, I mean, back to your point, seeing the generational piece and, companies that have been in business and started tens and tens and tens of years ago, not hundreds of years ago. I think that's important, to be able to drive that. But also, again, I think you mentioned a little bit of this, it's seeing the networking of the team. So, there's a lot of different a lot of different teams there that are probably competitive inside the industry with each other, but they're also supporting each other.
That's right.
And I think that's what it is about furniture. And, I go back a little bit in my job history here, but when I was in shoes and everybody was a shoe dog,
Yeah.
and you never lose that. And I think that's kind of the way it is with furniture. Now that I've been kind of adopted into the furniture industry, I think that will always remain part of me.
Yeah. No, that's well said. And the good plug here for the book Shoe Dog. Have you read that? No, except Phil Knight's. No, I want to read it. Now it's unbelievable. Okay. It's a great read. Highly recommended to our listeners on the pod. Shoe Dog, the Phil Knight memoir, Nike. It's really good. Wes, so Charlie and I had the honor and distinct pleasure of accepting the award on behalf of the 800 and plus memory makers that call this place home, and that was a great honor, a great privilege to do that. As a leader here at Broad River, how did it make you feel? Like, we talked a little bit about the emotion, but how did kind of sitting there center stage and just kind of knowing that, hey, like this is what we do every day, for professionally wise. And so how did that make you feel as a Broad River leader?
Yeah, I think as a leader, one, being there with Bill and Stacy and Lynn, and being able to share that with other leaders besides you and Charlie, I think that was important as well, because we could feel that sense of pride and sense of gratitude, not just from the two of you, but also from your families and also us from each other. And, as a leader and being able to continue to support that, kind of motivates you every single day that, okay, how do we get the next recognition? What do we do next to be able to continue to drive that next recognition?
For our Broad River memory makers, what encouragement or what thoughts would you give them about this award and about what they do every day here?
Yeah, I would say be proud of everything that you do every single day. That we do continue to have different recognition programs and let's recognize internally, because I think that's equally as important. But with that, just celebrating that night with this entire team and kind of doing this podcast to be able to say and share that with the entire group of memory makers that we have here at Broad River, I think that's as well as important as those that were there that night.
Yeah, I agree. I think having someone there like yourself, Wes, who's been to this event multiple times, and now just kind of seeing Broad River highlighted at this last one. I think ultimately it's letting every memory maker know that that each and every one of them make this possible. Each and every one of them make this possible. That is ultimately what when they ask, well, what makes Broad River so unique? What makes it so special?
We're all in it together.
We're in it. It's people. It's that we get to do this thing called retail that is every day, right? And it is not easy, but we get to do this together. And I think that's what makes it special.
Well, and we get to take those challenges and overcome challenges and continue to push forward. And as this year says, connect with one another.
That's right. Yeah. That's well said. It is our year of connection. And this was a really cool way to kind of come to getting ready to close out the year with a really intentional way to connect with the industry, connect with our partners, because we know, and especially on the CX side, we have a lot of amazing partners that help us, that show up every day for us, that help us, technology partners and AI partners now that help us kind of be more efficient and just help us deliver a best-in-class customer experience. So Wes, thank you for all that you do in helping us show up every day in a really intentional way. It's really important. And I was so glad that we got to celebrate this event in recognition with you because of how much you mean to the organization, how much you mean to how we show up every day.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Wes, where do we go from here? We've won the Retailer of the Year, which we had never even sought out to do, but it was an amazing recognition. So what do you think? What's next? What's the responsibility now for us?
Well, I got to put a little plug. So
Please, plug away.
For me and my team, we were runner-up to Call Center of the Year for the United States this year. So we want to go win in 2025.
Let's go win.
Be the number one. But in addition, I think it's just important that we continue to strive to do our best. You get the recognition as it comes for doing our best every single day.
Well, if they're listening, because I know that they're frequent listeners to the pod, the Call Centers of the Year committee, nominated committee, there's no way that we win Retailer of the Year without the best-in-class customer experience team, the best-in-class CX All-Stars. So, wink, wink. We'll be expecting now. That's well said. You all had an amazing recognition, and we're rooting for you. We're cheering you on.
Now let's keep the awards coming.
Well, that would be nice. That would be nice. We got to go take care of today's work in business. And so, Wes, any final words for our memory makers, for our audience about this award, about this night?
The award in the night, just thank you for allowing me to be there. Very much appreciated, because I do, hold this as a special night that'll always stay with me. But I will say, for those of you out there that, continue to look at our website for opportunities, because we have a great company to work for, and we'd love to have you come work for us someday.
A lot of plugs today. All right. Well, listeners, thank you so much for your time this week. So enjoyed being here with Wes Dudley and just chatting and kind of just talking a little bit more about that IFRA special recognition night. And so as we continue to tell these stories from the river, but give you some glimpses about what happens here behind the scenes. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.